Why James, Earl of Wessex won't inherit Duke of Edinburgh title from dad. Prince Edward James, Earl of Wessex, may have inherited his earldom from his father Prince Edward, but the same cannot be said for the prestigious Duke of Edinburgh title. While many royal titles have historically passed down from parent to child, this particular dukedom was granted to Prince Edward as a life peerage, not a hereditary honor. In practice, this means the title belongs solely to Edward during his lifetime and will return to the crown upon his death rather than transferring to his son. We appreciate your support and enthusiasm for our channel. If you'd like to help us grow, please subscribe and share our content with others. This marks a shift from the past, when dukedoms were often hereditary and automatically passed down to the next generation. The change reflects King Charles's vision for a slimmed-down monarchy, focusing attention on the direct line of succession and reducing the number of extended family members with major roles in public life. By limiting the hereditary transfer of titles such as Duke of Edinburgh, the monarchy avoids further expansion of working royals and keeps its circle tighter and more streamlined. When Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip were alive, it was agreed that Prince Edward would one day inherit his father's title, but only after both had passed. That promise was fulfilled in March 2023, when Edward officially became the Duke of Edinburgh on his 59th birthday. However, the honor was explicitly given as a life peerage, meaning James will never inherit it. Instead, once Prince Edward dies, the title will once again revert back to the crown just as it did after Prince Philip's passing. The decision fits with how Edward and his wife Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, have chosen to raise their children. Sophie has been open about the future paths of James and his sister, Lady Louise Windsor, explaining that they are unlikely to play large roles in royal life. In a 2020 interview, she said they are being brought up with the expectation that they will need to work for a living, rather than rely on royal status. Although both James and Louise technically hold HRH titles by birthright, their parents chose not to use them, leaving the decision to the children once they reached adulthood. Sophie herself admitted she doubted either would want to adopt those titles. Today, Lady Louise is pursuing her studies at St. Andrews University, following in the footsteps of her royal cousins William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales. She is studying English and has shown great dedication to her academic life. James, meanwhile, has recently completed his GCSEs and is preparing for his A-levels, charting his own course for the future outside of a traditional royal role. Despite not being destined for inherited grandeur, James still holds the title of Earl of Wessex, which came directly from his father when Edward was elevated to Duke of Edinburgh. That earldom, unlike the dukedom, is hereditary, meaning James will retain his place within the nobility. Yet it also symbolizes the quiet, modern path that he and his sister are set to follow, members of the royal family, but not bound to the heavy expectations of frontline royal duty. For Edward and Sophie, this approach offers their children a sense of normality and independence, while still respecting their heritage.